three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, welcome to a very special edition of Teaching Crypto. Please hit that subscribe button, share the show, help us out. We are on a roll, hopefully to get to 2,000 subs much sooner than the merch store having. Hit that like button, and as always, notification button and super chats are available. MrFOMO, this is the show we weren't sure we were going to be doing.
I definitely wasn't sure we were going to be doing this one.
Not just 40K. 41K, in fact, over 41.5 last night. A great 48 hours for Bitcoin here. Traditionally, right now, the December before the halving, we've talked about a holiday ho or Bitcoin and the altcoins dip. That's not what we're getting here. And we're going to talk about that today. Bitcoin is soaring, flourishing. And in August, when I called for 40K and we went down to 25, I had to go back and say, you know what? Maybe we get over 35, but 40, we might not get there. I should have just stuck to my guns here because we are at above 40K. We're still over 4 months before the halving. We are doing great. And this changes things for me in terms of my projection for 2024. My projection was 90K. And at this point, I think 90 is ultra conservative. MrFOMO, what is your reaction right now to Bitcoin exploding over the last 48 hours here?
I'm excited to see it because for me, this proves me wrong. And I said before, I wanted to be wrong about this. And we talked about a little bit of a holiday hole. The last 4 out of 5 years, except for after the halving, you saw red months for November and December. What we didn't know what was going on was that there was this polyamorous group of nerds in the Bahamas that was holding down the price of Bitcoin. Of course, I'm talking about SBF and Carolyn Ellison and that little group. But what we see here, I think, is a lot of the ETF rumors coming through. You saw BlackRock, you saw Grayscale. You saw these companies meeting with the SEC last week to tighten up their ETF applications. And so you're seeing a lot of that momentum pumped into the market. And over the weekend, you also saw 200 million in short liquidations. So people went out there and they said they may even have looked at our chart that I showed where the last 4 out of 5 years were red, and they went and took a short position. And we always say on the show that leverage trading is not a great way. You could get rich quick, but you could also lose everything. And as you can see, 200 million in liquidations over the weekend. That's nothing to shake a stick at. There are some people that are having some serious conversations with their families right before Christmas because they took out a short position on Bitcoin.
Well, and this happened since the last time we were on the air. MicroStrategy bought another 600 million of Bitcoin. Now, here's the thing. Saylor is going to keep buying because he knows he's done the research, right? He watches shows like this. He knows that Bitcoin is going to do well in 2024. So this is kind of his last chance not his last chance, but this was one of the stories. Now, we've talked about this before. That we're waiting for someone else besides Michael Saylor, another billionaire, to announce they've bought a gigantic amount of Bitcoin. And that's after that, you talk about countries, yes, putting on their reserve. That would be amazing as well. But after that, now you're talking about a true blast off here. What I'm going to say here is I really could see a 50K Bitcoin before the halving. Remember, the halving is April 1st. And then my conservative approach for the entire cycle, to be honest with you, into early 2025, right? There are 2 dates we have in mind. There is April 1st, 2025, and there is early November 2025. Those are the kind of the dates we want our customers to be aware of for how long this is going to go, this bull run. I really now think that over 100K is a really good possibility. I had 90K in my mind, But if we're at or close to 50, you don't even have to be at 50K. If you're at 45 or even 44, which is not far-fetched from here before April 1st, I really could see 100K Bitcoin in 2024. And we saw some projections of that over the weekend, but stick to 90. That looks amazing right now. And you know what that's going to do for the alts, right? So 90K in 2024, now really 110 to 120 to 130 in 2025 is very, very legitimate. Okay. But even if we just get to the 90, and if that was your target, you're looking really good right now.
Yeah, and don't sleep on what Tennessee said there. Tennessee drops good information on this show. It's one of the reasons why you watch this show, because even our viewers are up to date. But Tennessee is talking about Qatar. They're buying 500 billion in BTC. That doesn't sound like a medium rich country to me. That sounds like a super rich country to me. Didn't they just build cities strictly for soccer matches not too long ago? I think
World Cup.
Yeah, so yeah, they're super rich. They've got money to burn apparently, and you can see it when they're when their princes and stuff drive their cars through the streets. So I think Qatar buying that is a big signal. I think that it's not one of these South American countries where their inflation is through the roof. Qatar is much different, and that is a good sign for me, is that they're that a country like that would be jumping in
But we
rather
want to
than
make
those
sure
ones that are hurting and their currency is basically worthless anyway.
we want to make sure that that's not been substantiated 100%. But if that were to be true, and that would be if
That would
by
be
a legitimate
huge
news
for
source,
a country like
you would
that
see the
too.
price go up even more. Here's the other thing that we need to talk about, Mr. FOMO. People are not selling, right? The retail investors that are in. We're not talking about the ones that haven't come back, right? Because I'm sure some of them are seeing the 40K this morning, hopefully seeing shows like today saying, wait a minute, we're back up to 40K. How many people are coming back at 50? And then you're going to get the news in the mainstream media about the halving. I think you're going to see a lot of people return to Bitcoin over the next 2 to 3 months. I really do. Uh, and you know, yeah, And here's the thing: ETFs look prime for mid to late January. Why would people sell right now, knowing those are coming?
Well, I
So,
think there's a lot of people who are informed in the market right now, and these people know that the halving is on the way and that you've got possibly a super cycle coming after that at some point in the following 12 to 18 months. So there are a lot of people in the know right now who bought their Bitcoin at, 15, 20, 25 when they've been DCAing in all the way since the bottom, or even since we hit the top the last time. But the people who are going to get burned, like you said, are going to be the people who wait until the fear and greed index is 90 and we're up to 120K Bitcoin or something like that. Those people are going to get burned, and the people who aren't getting in right now or who didn't get in already and don't know the halving is coming, those people are really the ones that are missing out, because they have an opportunity to get into something before it takes off. And that's why we talk about the cycle. That's why we teach everybody that every 4 years there's a halving. Every 4 years there's going to be some explosive growth in this, because there's going to be more demand for the token or for Bitcoin. And so I'm hoping that we can get more and more people aware of this and get more and more people in early. But I mean, we've been rattling the chains for a while now, and people are still waiting on the sidelines. And we set it at 25. When are you gonna get in to this asset
well,
class? And people said, well, I don't know if it's going to go down anymore. And then it got up to 30 and 35. When are you going to get in? When are you going to get in? Still no. And now we're up to 40, 41. People need to start taking their cues from the market here. They need to start looking at
well,
data and looking at what's going on and just get in.
if you want to pull up the chart, we're at 41.7 right as we speak here on the show. Now, I want to say something, put this in perspective. August was not that long ago. It seems like it was, but it was not that long ago, right? And we had dropped out. Remember, we had a very angry viewer because I had predicted Bitcoin would jump from 30 to 35 during the summer, and it did not, right? We didn't get a good August month. In fact, we went down to 25K. He was very, very angry. What I told him was wait till October and November, right? What I didn't anticipate is, yeah, the October and early November were very good, but we've gotten a nice surprising rise here in December. And now you want to be careful. Okay. Yes, you can buy Bitcoin at 41.7, and my projection is right at 90K for 2024. You'll do very, very well. But I might wait to see if there's a bit of a cool down here. All right. I'm not 100% sure we have established 40K support just yet. We will sooner rather than later, right? It's coming probably in January, because I feel like the ETF news is going to break for good in January. But if you're waiting to buy and you have a large sum of money and you're watching the show, not financial advice, I might wait a little bit to see if there's a cool down period here. I don't think we're going straight to 50. That's not how crypto works. If you're new to the game, there's always some ups and downs. But right now, I am thinking that 50K before April 1st is a really decent possibility. We've talked about a couple things that could keep that from track. World events. I don't think the US government's going after Tether. I don't see it. Not in 2024. Maybe that's something that happens 3-4 years down the line, because I think USDC is the winner for stable coins. And I think we've had our black swan. We had CZ go down and face charges, right? Binance is still up. People are buying. So if that was the true black swan event right before the halving, it's looking really, really bullish and sunny.
Yeah, and I'm going to push back a little bit on the support here. 200 million in short liquidations pushed us up, and so there might be a leveling off here and building of strength at this level, but we're not too far down as far as strength. I think we're around 39, 38 as far as building a level of support and resistance. So, we could see this stay above 40K because of the strength of those short liquidations and how the market responded to that. So we could see it level off above 40 and actually never go back down. So I still believe that over the holidays you'll see some people selling off just because they'll see, and into January when those credit card bills come in. I still think you're going to see some sell-offs. I don't know why you'd be selling your Bitcoin to do those things, but people do. But I still think there will be a little bit of a dip, but I don't know how much further it will go. That liquidation over the weekend really bolstered the market. You can see it responding. I mean, we 40K. I was jumping up and down yesterday. Now we're 41, almost 42. We're pushing. So it usually isn't me. I'm usually pretty skeptical of pumps like this, especially Sunday pumps. But this, on the strength of, like I said, of that $200 million liquidation, you may see the market level above 40,000 and then build from here.
And even if you did go down to 39, 38, that to me is still very, very healthy. If those hold up as support, I know the 40K is kind of like a psychological barrier here, but it will
I would
get
like
above
to see
40
it
by
stay above
January
that
for sure.
psychological barrier. I know that some people don't think that that's a big deal, but I would love to see it stay above 40. I'd honestly 41 to be quite honest with you, and then keep climbing from there. But
And really quickly on the alts, I would hold off a little bit, because I think right now a lot of people are going to go into Bitcoin as we get closer and closer to the ETF news. Not that I don't think the alts are going to do well. In fact, we're going to have an altcoin draft. Alts you not have to, excuse me, that you want to buy before 2024. We're going to have that coming up very, very soon here. So don't miss that. And as we speak,
and
Bitcoin's making a run at 42 here. Wow.
if you believe in a project and you believe that Bitcoin's going to run even further from this might actually be the time to get into some of those altcoin projects. If you believe that there's going to be a dip in December, which I think we're going to fall back a little bit from where we are right now. But if you believe there's a dip in December, then obviously wait a little bit. But I would be DCAing into those altcoin projects. Whenever I see them fall into those price ranges where I like them. And this is where you have to do your own research and know where your price range is. But for me, I'm looking around to keep DCAing in, because I think that we are going to see some explosive growth after Bitcoin rises. I think we will see those super cycles where money flows into Bitcoin, flows out of Bitcoin into altcoins, and then those small market caps will jump. and that's where we'll see some of those
Well,
really big gains. And so I think that it's probably a good idea just to keep DCAing into those projects, and that way your bags are full no matter when they take off. Because we talked about most of these altcoins follow Bitcoin, but some of them go on their own runs. And I mean, they go on tears like Solana. I mean, what else ran in the last couple of weeks? These coins go on their own huge runs, sometimes independent of Bitcoin. And you want to be there when that happens. You don't
well,
want to chase that.
yeah, and I got a couple on my mind that we're going to talk about on the next show. But guys, keep it here. Do us a huge favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, but most importantly, share the show as we make a push to 2,000 subs. We couldn't thank you enough for your support. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZcrypto. Have a great Monday morning.
See you.